All right, welcome back to Dukes Nukes for episode 47. We watched The Wicker Man and the Banshees of Inisherin.
Ed Sheeran?
The Banshees of Ed Sheeran. This is what you get for being ginger, Ed Sheeran. Will Wicker Man, go.
From 1973, starring Edward Woodward, Christopher Lee, Britt Eklund, and the one guy from A Clockwork Orange. You'll know him if you've seen both of the movies, but I don't know his character's name in either movie.
Ted.
The Wicker Man is about a small island off the coast of England where a young girl has gone missing and a policeman is going to check it out. But when he gets there, all the villagers are being real weird and creepy. So what he discovers is that last year, their crops failed. And this year, they may need a human sacrifice to make those crops not fail. And he thinks that might be the missing girl. So we'll see.
Cops for crops, baby.
What? Hang on. What was the second word of that?
Crops.
Cops for crops.
Yes.
Oh,
I thought you said props. I was
Cops
like,
for crops. All right.
That's the movie. That's the whole movie.
That's
Cops
the-
for Cops.
yes.
It is.
Yeah, so the whole thing is basically this guy, I think he's a police captain, but anyway, policeman
Captain
Howie,
Sheriff.
he is Sergeant Howie is going around the island asking people, have you seen this girl? And everybody's going, no, we don't know that girl, but he keeps finding evidence of her in the town, like her name on the school registry, stuff like that. So it's getting pretty creepy, and the residents of the village are also very open about polygamy.
They're pagans.
They're pagans, and he first notices it when he takes a slow-motion moonlit walk through a field of people having intercourse. Very little surreal kind of scene.
He didn't catch on in the end when everyone was talking about the owner's daughter.
Yes,
he didn't
okay.
catch on then.
So the first night he's there, he goes to the Green Man Inn, which I love the sign. And then he goes in there, and all the patron goes, hey, new guy, let's sing a song about how we've all banged the owner's daughter.
Yeah, pretty much. And must I say, the music was actually kind of fun.
I really like the music. It's
all the
pretty
music
folksy.
was, yeah.
Very springtime. The whole thing with the harvest and stuff makes me think of springtime.
It's what Midsummer's like based off of. So if you've seen the movie Midsummer, it's like this.
We don't like the 2006 remake of this.
With Nick Cage?
Yeah.
No, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah! Open my eyes! Eyes! Ah!
I was looking because I wasn't sure what version to watch, and I was looking, and I was like, okay, probably not the Nick Cage 2006. I can't see Will recommending this.
I was very tempted though.
But yeah, so the Wicker Man, just a dab of surrealism that I love. I really love the butt dance.
Is it better than my question dance, though?
Yes.
Some of them.
Yes.
Damn it.
Yeah, you're clothed.
I don't have to be.
It's interesting though, because the movie really hits on a lot of things of religion, but it almost seems more, I struggle to understand the actual point that it's making, because it seems to be making fun of both sides of the religions. When it comes down to it, it's about Catholicism versus paganism, or Christianity versus paganism. And the way those compare, it's almost like it's from an objective viewpoint. Like it's just showing you how these two would interact. And I think the Maypole song, it's like the source of truth in the movie, because it's all about just the cycle of life. You are born, you grow up, you have kids, you die, you go and be the soil for trees, which
You become the tree.
which then trees are made to make beds, which then beds are where kids are made. To me, it's almost saying like, look, we have kind of made a mountain out of a molehill in terms of reading into the meaning of our lives. Maybe it doesn't mean all that much, and we're just animals like the rest of them. What do you think, Jack?
I don't know. It's a lot to process.
It does all these things, but so subtly.
How perfectly everyone in the town is just like,
Just a little off.
yeah, they're all
Just
little
a little off.
But
Like
they're
they're
all into it.
Yeah.
Like it's all their religion, and no one's gonna nothing's gonna change their mind.
Yeah, no one in the town is like trying to help Sergeant Howie. No one is betraying the island. No one from the island is betraying the island.
And every time he catches on to something, it doesn't faze anybody because everyone knows everything.
Yeah, they just go, oopsies, a little slip up there, but you won't catch us doing it again.
Even the children. That's what blew my mind.
Yeah,
Like,
they
even
just
the
make up some
children are part of
random.
it.
They just make up some random ass lie, and then everyone is like, "Okay, that's what we're sticking to now." everyone collectively. It's like a hive mindset
It is.
versus
Oh, okay.
Howie's individualism.
It's a cult.
True.
We need to nuke that island.
It being a cult is what leads you to the final ending, which is why it's called a horror movie. It's not really a horror movie, but it's got that one horror scene where Sergeant Howie is put inside a giant wicker man, which is just a man made out of wood, and they burn him and some animals with him as a sacrifice for their harvests.
Which
Woo.
is based off like a real thing, right? Wicker Men were a real traditional.
It's kind of
It's just a mix.
yeah,
A mix
it's
of-
kind of a mix of a couple different things. There's drawings of wicker men, but it's never been proven that somebody has ever been burned inside a wicker man before.
It's
Okay.
a lot of effort.
A lot
Burned them
more
or killed
effort than
them.
like crucifixion.
Yeah, to build that big of a Wicker Man.
Yeah, to build a whole
And then-
face.
Yeah. Interesting. Messed up stuff.
Gosh, dude, I would freak out if I was there. Yeah, I would actually freak. That play, no.
Did you like the ending with the costumes and all
Oh
the
my
animal
God.
masks?
It freaked me out. Those animal masks are so creepy. I hate them.
They are. This movie has one of the best what in movie history.
No, I actually really did like the main character a lot.
He sticks to his guns till the very end. That's the other thing. No one on either side is ever swayed. They are just button heads. It's like the whole time.
But I feel like at the end, the pagans kind of had respect for him sticking to his guns. Even though
Oh,
they were
absolutely.
like,
And he had no
you're
respect
still
for them.
dead.
Yeah, but that's what they wanted, though.
That's why they chose him.
Yeah,
though.
but I feel like they were more happy that he didn't give in so he could still be the martyr.
Right.
That's the interesting thing, is that if he gave up on his religious values and decided to go be with the landlord's daughter,
Right. That's what I was
he
thinking
would
too.
have not been sacrificed because he had to be a virgin in order to be inside the Wicker Man. That was part of their criteria.
Like to come to help. He had to be a Catholic or a Christian. And oh my God.
I think this one kind of demands a rewatch.
Well, I think you get a different perspective on the rewatch.
Absolutely, with the villagers, because you know what they're doing. You know what their plan is. When he goes to the little girl and they're talking about Rowan being a hare, the first time you watch it, you're like, what? But then after you watch it a couple times, you're like, oh, this little girl is so brainwashed that she believes in transmutation and believes that Rowan became a rabbit.
Was it that or reincarnation?
Yeah, no, you're right. Because transmutation would imply somebody did some wizardry on her.
Yeah.
But reincarnation is she died and came back as a rabbit. So I think you're right.
Man, I can't wait to convert to this religion.
Did their crops grow the next year though? That is the question.
It
You
doesn't,
don't know.
It doesn't affect anything.
Well, yeah, it does. Because if they fail, then they got to sacrifice Lord Summer Isle, who's Christopher Lee's character. He is the head of the cult, and he is so good in this movie. He actually says that this is his favorite movie that he's ever done.
Yeah, because at first I was kind of like, he's not really doing anything. But then, like, halfway into him doing stuff, I was like, okay, I kind of like him now.
He's super intimidating, and you never get a sense of his true motives. Because it seems like there's something more going on behind his eyes.
Well, yeah, he's just in control of all these people.
Right.
So you
but
get- you
but
get-
there's no scene that's like him in his room just going, ha ha ha, I've got them all in the palm of my hand. He he he.
Yeah, they kind of say that, though, because they're like, your grandfather made this place. He's like, yeah, but my grandfather believed this and I believe this, but I'm in charge of it, so it's all real.
Well, right, but that is what sets up in your mind doubt in Lord Summer Isle. But he never proves that doubt right or wrong. Objectively, in the movie, all he says is, I believe this. This is what we're doing.
Yes. Ooh. Guess what? You remember the big scene where he's like flying, you see like rocks and stuff? He's flying. He's like, ooh, look at that. Yeah, I was there.
Whoa. Scotland.
Yeah.
This one takes advantage of its locations very similarly to Banshees.
Ah, yes, the next movie, The Banshees of Inisherin. Two lifelong friends find themselves at an impasse when one abruptly ends their relationship with alarming consequences for both of them. That's the whole movie.
Two guys, they're friends.
And now they're not friends. And they hate each other.
And that's the movie.
Blaine.
What do you think,
This
Blaine?
was Blaine's first time watching this movie.
Yeah,
I
It
thought
Jack
was.
and I really like this movie. I would say I love it.
I
was-
can't speak for
It
Jack.
was a very good movie. Definitely not my vibe, but like
It's a good
the
movie.
characters are all fantastic. And if you're going in expecting like
Did you find any of them dull?
no, that's the great part. That's the irony here. Cullum thinks what's his name?
Podrick.
Podrick
Mhm.
is dull.
It's a different way of saying Patrick.
Colm. Is that like
Colm.
Colin?
It's
Yeah, sounds right.
It's a translation for Ted.
But yeah, one of the guys he's super into his fiddle and writing his music, and he just wants to spend the rest of his life on fiddle.
Yeah, and not talking about donkey shit.
Yeah, well, they just keep fighting, and then they one of them starts cutting off some fingers.
Well, Podrick just keeps going, "Why? Will you tell me why?" And he finally says, "You're dull." And he says, "I'm not dull." And then he keeps going back and just wanting to talk to Calm again.
This is a hard movie to explain.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, so then Calm says,
I think this is a better movie than The Wicker Man.
I think I would watch this again before
There's-
I watch The Wicker Man again.
I still think it was the best movie of 2022.
This was up for a lot of Oscars, even though awards are stupid.
I think it's a shame that it didn't win
But
as much as it should have.
It's because it's more of a popularity contest, and this movie kind of flew under the radar, even though everyone that's seen it loves it.
Did they shoot it with something special? Like the way they shot it and the way it looks is like it looks older almost.
They didn't shoot on film. They did shoot digitally, but that is the benefit of just doing all in camera on location with wide format. It's in scope. Is it in scope? I believe it's in scope. It feels like it's in scope, which is where you have, if you're watching on a TV at home, you've got the bars in the top of the bottom. Bars. So it's, a wider image.
Yeah.
It may not be, but it really feels like it is with some of the landscape shots.
It does a good job of
is.
making you feel like you get the whole encompassing of the island.
Really, I wanted to do this movie on the podcast, and Wicker Man was what I thought would pair well with it.
I thought it did.
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
have, because they've got similar kind of locations and feels, but Banshees, I mean, it's just about who was behind the camera, Blaine. They knew what they wanted and they got it.
And you just felt like you were in this town with like 5 people.
Yeah, this small, you're just kind of there. And you're watching this friendship fall apart as Calm starts cutting off his fingers and throwing them at Podrick.
Fantastic.
Because Podrick won't stop talking to him.
And then he can't play the fiddle, which is the reason that he stopped being friends with him in the first place.
Or that scene at the end.
It's so sad.
Where he's just throwing fingers.
Yeah, no. When he's at the table with the fiddle and like just like slapping his like bleeding hand while everyone else is playing the instruments.
So that's like part of the fairy tale aspect of this movie. You have that kind of intense threat. Stop talking to me or I'm going to cut off all my fingers. Why? Why does that make sense? Doesn't matter. Because it's all about the irony of him not being able to do the thing that he wanted to do. But his fingers, like, never being bandaged properly is part of the whole fairy tale thing.
Okay.
Where they're just like bleeding all over the place. He's walking, after he throws him at Podrick, there's a close-up of just his stumpy hand just dripping blood.
It's not even that gruesome.
No,
It's not that gruesome. It's just like matter of fact.
But I find it funny, like
Just
there,
like
there
this
was
is a
like
thing.
there was like 1 or 2 scenes where it is bandaged up, and
But
then
it's
the
so
next
bloody.
and then the next scene, it's the bandage is just off, and we're back to the stump.
because in the scene before that, the bandage is like soaking in blood.
yeah,
Like that it's just like so heavy that it just fell off. Is that's what my brain fills in.
okay,
Yeah,
I
I
see
also
that.
think it's just an old man from like 100 years ago. It's just like, I don't have time for this. He's just like puts his hand in just a blanket. He's like, this is fine.
Is there a doctor on that island?
No, because there's 5 people.
There is 5 people.
There's like the 4 main characters, and
There's the
like,
police officer.
and then there's the guy who like pours their beers. That is it.
They're brothers. There's 2 guys that own the bar. They're
oh
twins.
yeah,
Yeah, they're twins.
I didn't realize that they were twins, but
And
there were 2
I love the
guys.
way they're both supporting like a single idea whenever they talk. It's very fun. Very fun little character.
In a
thing.
row? You in a row? I don't think I'm in a row.
We haven't talked about the dialect.
I mean, that's what makes the movie.
That's what makes the movie very, very naturalistic to, I guess, the time period and the location. You might need subtitles, but it's very fun.
Blaine, there were so many characters. I was gonna tackle four of our main characters because you've seen them in other movies.
Okay.
The main guy, Colin Farrell. Guess who he plays in a movie you've seen recently?
I
Have you-
don't know.
You know the new Batman movie?
Yeah.
You know the Penguin?
Okay. I never finished the whole Batman
But
movie. So
you know what he
apologize.
looks
But
like.
yes, I know what you're talking about now. Yes.
He doesn't even look because they put so much makeup on him in the Batman movie.
Nice.
Oh, he does such a good job. Calm. You know who Calm plays, Blaine?
He's in so much.
You biggest Harry Potter fan?
Oh yeah, he's Mad-Eye Moody.
Yeah.
Blaine, how much of Better Call Saul did you watch?
Like 3 or 4 seasons.
All right. You know Mike's daughter. She's the girl who plays the girl in this movie.
Okay.
Yeah, she's good. She's good. And then there's also the Dominic guy who was in the Eternals movie you love so much.
Yeah, it was an awful movie.
He plays the guy who can like control other people.
And Dominic's the kid, right?
He's the
That dies.
the dumb one who dies and also is allegedly molested.
Yeah. Messed up.
Yeah, Dominic's dad is not a good guy. If this movie had a villain, no, it wouldn't even be him because he's not like the antagonist causing. This movie doesn't have a villain.
Yeah, no,
Which is what makes it so fun.
It does.
I feel like it does have a villain, though.
It's Calm's fingers.
I almost felt like everyone but Podrick and his sister, everyone else was the villain.
Or you
And
could look
Not the
at,
two bar guys. They did nothing.
or
That
you
is
could argue
true.
Podrick, or you could argue Podrick is the villain.
That is true, too.
And those poor guys that were just at the musicians college that were just coming to learn some music.
Not your mommy, sorry. Say your mommy, your auntie. Yeah, your auntie. It's about your daddy.
What about Daddy?
Red van crashed into him.
It's a very dark comedy, is what this is.
Okay, new
Very
villain.
pitch black
It's Podrick
comedy.
and Call. I think they're both the villain here. They ruin everything in the village.
The villain is miscommunication.
Yeah. It's the,
They just can't get on the same level.
It's the Rowan.
They do be rowing.
I have trivia
Oh,
for the
trivia.
Banshees of Ed Sheeran.
Oh,
First trivia.
Wait. All right.
Colin Farrell had several incidents with the animals during the shoot. Jenny, the miniature donkey, kicked him while he was feeding her. Second, the dog portraying the pet bit him. And thirdly, the horse leading a cart Farrell was in tried to reverse the cart into the ocean.
Animals are so much fun.
Well, apparently the donkey had a different name, but then they switched it back to the donkey's name in real life, Jenny, because
She couldn't deal with it. She had real bad anxiety. So I saw a couple interviews with Colin Farrell and Dom Hall Gleason, who's Calm, and they were talking about Jenny because Jenny is a very anxious donkey, but then she had a stunt double donkey who was like the nicest donkey. Or I'm sorry, not a stunt double donkey. Jenny had her own emotional support donkey, and that donkey was awesome
why didn't they just use that donkey?
Use that donkey?
because that donkey wasn't an actor.
But it's a donkey.
But that donkey is not a star.
It's a donkey.
I don't know, dude. Just watch the interview. But they're talking about that. There's another donkey in the story, and apparently that donkey was really cool.
No, I know what you're talking about, but I still just don't understand the logic of it's a donkey. Like, what is the
Man.
donkey? I get like if you have like a monkey or like a dog, you want it to like do a flip or something.
I mean, all these things are mammals. There are horses that are trained for movies, you know?
But what do you do with that? Can't you
It's just really good at listening when you say go and stop and going where you want it to go.
But it's a donkey.
I understand. I know what it is.
The donkey doesn't do anything to me in the movie that makes me think.
It walks in the door and then he goes, go away. And the donkey goes, boop, boop, boop.
Yeah, but then you could just like shake like a carrot or something off the screen. I don't know.
Some donkeys are stubborn and won't listen to
And
you.
that's only once.
Oh.
Every other scene is just the donkey just following a stick. That's like the
Yep.
whole. You know, I'm wrong. My bad.
Plus, the donkey dies.
That's true.
The thumb. The donkey choked on the thumb. The donkey tried to eat. The guy throws all his fingers at
His house. He
Podrick's
just throws
house.
him at his house.
and the donkey eats the thumb and chokes on the thumb and dies.
These people are so freaking lonely. They
But
need animals.
it's almost like it's highlighting that like the issue with humanity is miscommunication, and that if we were more like animals and just chilled, everything would be better.
I took it the other way. Like, these people are just so depressed and lonely that they need these animals to survive from depression.
Well, yeah, I mean, and they also just they are farmers. That's what
Yeah.
that his job is to milk the animals and then sell animal products. This it takes place in the 1920s, so
It does.
they're just and they're on a small island. He makes the farm products for the island is what he does.
Would we like the second fact?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So, banshee is the angelicized term for beansai, from Old Irish meaning woman of the fairy mound or fairy woman, which is a spirit in Irish folklore who heralds the death of a family member, usually by screaming, wailing, shrieking, or keening, whatever that means. Words.
Keening is like screaming and screeching.
That would
literally
make
the same
sense.
thing.
Because there is like an old witchcraft lady in there.
Yeah, but she never screamed, did she?
He says the banshees still exist, but they don't scream anymore. They just watch.
Oh,
and
just watch.
So that creepy old lady is like, there's going to be some bad stuff. Bye.
A death shall come to Inisherin afore the month is out.
A death, huh?
Maybe even 2 deaths.
Well, that'd be sad.
Is that why the sister leaves from that scene? Like at the lake, she's just staring at the banshee, and she's like, this life sucks. I don't want to be here."
Yep.
Cool. You got any more facts?
I got another fact.
Oh yeah, give
I
it.
got another.
Give it.
It is mentioned in the film that the war might end soon, and the film begins in April 1st, 1923, like Will said. The 11th month-long Irish Civil War was less than 2 months away from ending.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So the
That's a
conflict that
backdrop.
they see is the Irish Civil War in the 1920s.
Yeah, they're on their little island, and occasionally you hear cannon fire and other stuff, other noises in the distance. And they mention the Civil War a couple times. It's pretty fun. I guess not fun.
Yeah, it's a little fun. I learned that punching was cool.
That's today's lesson.
That's what I
Punching
learned.
things
I
is
also
cool.
learned that if you want to
Miscommunication,
get a point
boring.
across, just cut off your fingers. Actually, that failed. Killed a donkey.
Yeah. No.
Only if, okay, there's a
Yeah,
bunch
and
of
he lost-
stipulations to that. Don't do it if you're trying to prove a point to somebody that owns a donkey.
Yeah, there you go.
So you can do it to Jack because he doesn't own a donkey.
What if that happened in real? They were like, "Hey, Jenny, the donkey, you bad at you don't eat that finger."
Don't do that.
No,
No.
no finger for you, you stupid donkey.
Support donkey. Come over here. We need help.
Then
Oh no, we really got to get support donkey.
the support donkey is just giving the other donkey just the Heimlich maneuver.
Pat, pat, pat.
No, because it's choking.
Yeehaw.
I would watch the movie. It's just a movie of the making of this movie, but it's just two sentient
It's
donkeys,
just the two donkeys.
and the support donkey is just trying to get the other donkey just to finish the filming of the movie.
And then it cuts and they're just like sitting on the curb outside a bar, just like, and the support donkey has its arm around the other one. The other one just like got tears and smoking a cigarette.
I didn't want to eat the finger.
It's just so hard sometimes.
I didn't want to eat it.
Yeehaw.
No, that's good. There's no dial. It's just.
See, and for most people, you could probably understand that more than the Irish accents.
That's why I had subtitles on. So, subtitles.
You have subtitles on for Disney movies.
I have subtitles on for everything because someone's always talking in the background.
Yeehaw.
It's just easier to watch a movie with subtitles, I think. That way, if you're like, because I'm always doing something. I'm always like,
Yeah, but my eyes focus on the subtitles and then I miss the actual movie part. I
That's-
feel like I'm just reading a script if I have subtitles
I
on.
see both. It just depends. If you're watching something like this, subtitles might help you understand it better, and there's not a lot happening in the background. But for something that's more action-based or a lot more moving parts, it will also help. Like, if you don't have subtitles on, it makes you, like, pay attention more to make sure you understand everything that they're saying. So I'm going to go in the solid middle and agree with both of you.
oh, we love you, Jack.
Any more trivia?
Give it all if you got more.
No, I don't.
Okay.